So this is my CETME rebuild rifle that I'm putting together on a number of CETME and H&K parts. And what I've done not long ago is press the barrel into the trunnion to the proper bolt gap, and then I wanted to go ahead and check it after it had been welded in the receiver. So this right here is a feeler gauge set. I got the German set, which is measured in millimeters, and the range that you want to be in, depending on who you ask, is between 0.1 millimeter and 1/2 millimeter. Now some people will place the lower end a little higher. They will say that you don't want to go below the 0.3 millimeter, but if you're within that range, you should be good. So I know about where this is checking, and this is the 0.35 millimeter feeler gauge. Make sure it's clean in there. I've used some barrel blast and some swabs to make sure there's no dirt or anything that could be messing up the reading. Take the feeler gauge, just drop it gently in between, don't force it. If it goes easily, go up a gauge, and if it doesn't, go down a gauge. So I don't know if you can see that, but this 0.35 millimeter feeler gauge, when held completely vertical, will go in with just a little resistance, but does not slide freely back and forth. So this will go in, and one thing that I was taught was the gauge, if it is the same size as what you are checking, it will not go. So a 0.35 feeler gauge will not go in a slot that is exactly 0.35. Mine is going in just barely, so I'm going to say I feel like that bolt gap is around 0.37 millimeters, which is somewhere around 17 thousandths. We can check this by using the next side up, 0.4 millimeters, and this should be our no-go. And this, no matter how I angle it, slide it, poke it, or gently push it in place, does not go, which means we have a bolt gap of less than 0.4 millimeters. And I feel like that's a pretty good gap, so as soon as I get the rest of this rifle together, it's going to be ready for a test fire.